Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for checking out this video. My name is Ryan Cushman, realtor and investor in North Georgia. Here to show you another property that could be interesting to you. If it is, give me a shout, ryancushman.com. Happy to help you out with your investment journey and get you started on the path toward financial freedom, all of that good stuff. So let's dig into it. Today's property is actually one that came off the market week or two ago, but I'll tell you why that isn't necessarily something that should be a blocker for you. Sometimes stuff comes off the market just because there wasn't enough attention. So we'll get into it here. This is a tiny home property, and the owner was trying to get it sold for a while, May of last year. So coming up on a year. They started at 319, dropped it as low as 285. I guess didn't get enough action, and actually be worth touching base with the listing agent to see if there were any other blockers. Maybe it went under contract and fell apart for one reason or another. And there's a couple of things we'll want to watch out for with this listing as I dig into it. So since I am a realtor, I can take a look at what the listing looked like before it came down. It is right here. All right, so here is the listing. Okay, it is a tiny home. And as you can see, it is very narrow. This property was at one point, as we take a look at the seller's property disclosure exhibit, this property was, it is checked yes here. Is any portion of the main dwelling mobile, modular, or manufactured home? So this was a home that was manufactured and brought to the property and set on blocks, and then had a deck built around it. So that's actually something we want to be cognizant of. It looks like it's been, permanentized, so to speak, here. But it's something that just to be cognizant of as you're talking about opportunities with your lender. You'll want to bring this to them before you get too far down the road to see if this is something that they can finance with traditional financing. So the couple things that I want to call out here, obviously it's got some great benefits and features here. It's perched high up on a hill, giving it some great panoramic views, and it's got this great deck space right out front to be able to enjoy the views down the hill here. It also has this little fire pit arrangement. One thing that I think you'll notice is missing if you've watched any of my previous videos is that there does not appear to be a hot tub connected here. So opportunity, that spells opportunity for us here. We'll take a quick look at some of the rest of the photos here. As you can see, it's really nicely decorated. It's nicely, it's got nice features, nice amenities, nice accents. Looks comfortable, looks cozy. It's got even this little electric fireplace here. It's well stocked. It looks cute. It does have a little flat space. Looks like kind of lifted up high where there's additional sleeping capacity outside of just the main sleeping area right here. So space enough, technically sleeping capacity enough for probably 4 people, although this is a very small space, so you probably wouldn't want to do a whole lot more than that. But flat parking, perched up on a hill, great views, cool stuff. So a lot to like about this property, and with its list price of $285, it's very attainable, very achievable, and with the low price point makes it a pretty low risk property to be able to cash flow and positively. So as I mentioned, a couple of things to just be cognizant of is the fact that it's a modular home, and want to make sure that your lender is up to speed with what the property is and can finance this property. Doesn't appear to be on wheels, and so that can often be a major hindrance where it then needs to be financed like a mobile home, but that does not appear to be the case here, so it should be in the clear. All right, so square footage of this, 250 square feet right here. So yeah, it's small. It is only a couple of years old, so that's nice. So some of the hardware, the appliances should be in decent shape. The mini split HVAC, all relatively new, so should have some quite a bit of life left in those components of the home. Going back here, a couple of opportunities I see for sure. Obviously, number one is the hot tub. I think there is an opportunity to either place it here on the deck. It wouldn't need to be a big hot tub just because it is a small property, but we could either put it on the deck or grade some of the space off to one of the sides of the deck and have it placed out there. I think, having it on this corner of the deck, overlooking the views out there with the string lights, maybe raised up a little higher above it, that could be a great hero shot for your listing. The other opportunity here, I feel like this fire pit arrangement could afford to be done a little more robustly, I would say, with perhaps some pavers and some hardscaping with gravel, or some swing chairs, some posts set up with some swing, egg chairs hanging down, and not one of these, metal fire pits that you can buy from Home Depot, but something actually kind of built out that is a little bit more permanent structure and just done up to a better degree. These pavers are fine, but this looks, low budget. And so it wouldn't take a big budget to make this look a lot better. And of course, there are additional opportunities to add, additional decking down below it, off to the side over here. We don't have a great visual of what is on that other side. Let me see if I can flip through here. Yeah, so maybe not a whole lot you can do over there, but extending the deck or adding another level to the deck down below, where there could either be the hot tub or hot tub up here, and then like a barrel sauna or some additional amenity, with building out the deck a little bit more. Decks can be expensive, but if you budget it into your acquisition and launch of the property, then there could be some nice amenities added to this property that could really lift it and elevate it above where it is currently. So those amenities plus improving the fire pit arrangement and setup could be a big deal, and make a big difference. So as we look at analyzing this property for its profitability, we can switch over here to a couple of tools that I like to use. Let me pull my photo over here. All right, so we've got Rabu.com. We also have Price Labs. Rabu, we can do some analysis without any sort of subscription or cost, which is the reason why I tend to go here first, just to see what it's all about. Price Labs is, of course, a pricing tool, a dynamic pricing tool that I use on my short-term rentals, of which I have 6. And I go in there every week or so and make subtle adjustments to optimize for occupancy and the different supply and demand factors that are in play for a given time period. Along with that, Price Labs has some property analytics that it allows you to plug in some addresses. It's not free. It is an add-on. And so, but I've opted to give myself a second reference as we go through these property analyses to see if one tool is giving us similar information to another. So going back to Rabu here, let's go ahead and just reset this. All right, so this should reset it. All right, so this resets it to its default answer, which is taking into account some basic filters. It's given us a default of a 2.5 mile radius. to capture enough comparables. It's comparing us to 16 other properties, and it is giving us an annual revenue projection of about 28K. If we do nothing to the filters here and see how we would perform if we were in the 75th percentile, it says that this property could do as well as 61K. Now, when we take a look at the comps that are left that are in the 75th percentile, these properties look pretty awesome. I think we may have a hard time competing and getting the revenue level that these properties are getting. Now, that said, there are some also really nice properties that are claiming to just do very subpar, mediocre revenue. This one, for instance, this is a cool property. It's a shipping container. It's actually probably a reasonable comp to us, but it says it's only doing $1,100 a month. And so, taking into account that, all right, so here we go. It's only got 12 reviews. Its earliest review was just a few months ago. So this property doesn't have enough history, so it should not be included in the comps here. This property is actually size-wise probably not overly far off from where we are with this tiny home that we are analyzing. So that could be a great comp, but it really isn't currently. It has been on the market long enough. So what we would want to do next here is just open the aperture a little bit more. Let's raise the minimum average rating. I don't think this will really do a whole lot because there aren't many properties that are below 4 stars. Let's open up the radius a little bit to 3. Make sure we have some reviews. And also make sure we are comparing ourselves to properties that have hot tubs. All right, let's see what that does. Okay, that opens it up and increases profitability a few $1,000s annually. And if we are in the 75th percentile, about 61K again still. So it's really just taking a look at those same properties. I don't think we can really compete with this one. It's pretty stunning. So I would say we probably can't command that level of income. We might be able to do 97% occupancy, but I doubt we can do $246 a night. So I'm going to go ahead and exclude that one. This one seems like it's more in our alley. It's a cooler property for sure, but 87% occupancy and a 156 ADR, that seems achievable to me. I have a property that is less cool than this that is doing approximately this level of income per month. So just 20 or so, 20, 30 minutes away from where this property is located. And so that seems very reasonable. So I think somewhere in the 40 to 50K range for this property is super doable. So let's take a look at what Price Labs has here, see if it does anything different for us. All right, so the default of what it's showing us is 21K, ranging from 14 to 39. Now, if we include a hot tub, it improves us to 49K. So it's not really, that's a huge jump. And again, there could be flaws in the data here. There likely are, but that just goes to show how impactful having some of these pretty standard amenities are. If you don't have a hot tub, good luck. I don't know why the current owner has not put one in, because they will, and I've said this in another video, they will make it worthwhile within the first year. The ROI that you get on the hot tub, the payback on that is 1 year, within 1 year. Okay, so this estimates that we'll get somewhere between 30 and 60K of one bedroom property within this vicinity, and the average being about 49K. All right, so let's plug this into our short-term rental calculator. I've got the list price here at 285. With it having sat on the market for a while, coming up on a year, and it being off the market again, if you have a real estate agent that can go to bat for you and reach out to the listing agent and get a feel from the seller how open they are to offers, even though they're off market. I think there's a deal to be had here. And it likely is at a better price point than what is posted here. So this property, I would imagine, probably, if it's anything like what my 1 bedroom property does in the LJ, it's probably turning more times than 6 per month. Not again, cleaning fees, that really just is an impact of the cleaning fees, which are generally and mostly a pass-through expense. Oftentimes I have a little bit of a buffer on my cleaning fee where I collect $5, $10, $15 more than what I actually pay my cleaner. And so there is a little bit of margin there. But sometimes a lot of folks just collect exactly what they pay their cleaner. All right, so I have a couple of scenarios here. I've filled out what I anticipate the monthly expenses are for this property. I also have here a couple of different loan options, which I don't always talk about in my videos here, but there's a 10% down loan option here and a 20% down loan option here. You can also adjust these to maybe a 15% down loan option, which is somewhat common in the short-term rental space. And then whichever one you want to have modeled out in your scenarios is what you select here in this field here. So I, as a default, just assume a 20% down payment. We have 6.75% interest, which is not too far off from where it is today. It actually may be a little bit better today, but we're going to go ahead and roll with this for now and see what it looks like. So in scenario 1, we have 150 a night, and let's say we are only occupied for 50% of the month. That gets us at around 27K annually, 2,300 a month in gross rent. And we're effectively breaking even. We're cash flowing positively about $45 a month. So again, if we are able to acquire this property for better than 285, or we do a little bit better than this, we're starting to, cash flow positively and make a meaningful difference in our lives here. Okay, scenario 2. Let's say we do a little bit better. We're booked 60% of the night at the same average nightly rate. We're bringing home $33,000 a year, $2,800 a month, and we're cash flowing almost $500 a month. Not bad. And that seems like a very easy number. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, I have in here some design setup upgrades, costs of about 25K. That includes, making sure we have a hot tub, perhaps improving. This is a big budget for this small of a space, but a small hot tub, making sure the electrical is set up, that could maybe be 10K. That's generous. I think we can do a hot tub installation here for under 10K. And then there's a lot of budget left here to improve some other amenity, whether it be the landscape and the fire pit arrangement, or adding another deck below the deck that is shown there in the listing, and including, like a barrel sauna or some other unique amenity that is going to be attractive to guests that perhaps most of the rest of the market does not have. That's what will set this place apart and really drive additional revenue that here, before this point was not possible for a property like this. Okay, so scenario 2, we're outpacing the average, and we're bringing home a few $1,000s more than what it projected. This actually is probably what is very achievable to do just by adding a small hot tub. And then if we do 80% occupancy, the one bedroom property that I have in Ellijay does 87% occupancy, which is 26 or 27 nights a month of occupancy. So this is very reasonable. Okay, so if we are at 150 ADR, we're doing 80% occupancy. This property then grosses $3,700 a month, or about $45K a year, and we're cash flowing $1,400 a month and $16,000 a year. That's not a bad pay bump, I think. Again, these three scenarios are kind of summarized out over here. We got a 1% cash on cash return, a 6%, and a very reasonable, very achievable 18% ROI. And that assumes we're buying the property at its current list price. I hope this was helpful. Thank you again for watching the whole way through. And if you'd like to explore this property or any of the other properties in the North Georgia mountain market that are attractive to you, give me a call. RyanCushman.com. There's a place for you to get some free resources, and also connect with me and set up a call with me so that we can get you started on your short-term rental journey. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.